You're 19, hauling a duffel down the dock at Port Vauban in Antibes at 5:30 in the morning. The chief stew told you to be at the boat by 6 a.m. You're not on payroll yet. You're a day worker at €120 cash a shift, scrubbing teak on a 47-meter Benetti called Indolent while the owner helicopters in from Nice for the weekend. Behind you, 20 other kids your age are doing the same thing on 20 other boats. 6 of you will get hired this season. The rest fly home in June. This is every level of a super yacht captain's career, from €120 in an unmarked envelope to $720,000 a year on the bridge of a 180-meter Lürssen. There are roughly 6,000 yachts over 24 meters in service worldwide. Fewer than 2,500 carry a paid captain on payroll year-round. 30 to 60 captains worldwide ever reach the apex. If you like breakdowns of how wealth actually scales, like and subscribe. Level 1, the day worker. You sleep above a kebab shop in Palma, 6 bunks in a room, €35 a night. You took the Ryanair into Nice for €98 one way. Before you arrived, you paid £850 at a maritime school in Cowes for the 5-day safety course. Pool drills, fire prevention, personal survival in a cold tank. Then, £115 for the seafarer medical at a clinic in Southampton. $2,400 on the credit card before a single shift. You walk the quay at dawn. You hand CVs along the passerelle. You learn the dock vocabulary. Green crew, dock walking, the chief stew. You learn the chamois is held 3 fingers wide and never folded. You learn that polished teak shows every fingerprint and raw teak shows none. You learn the chief stew watches what shoes you wear up the gangway. The captain reads your CV in 7 seconds. The Antibes spring market hires roughly 1 in 6 walk-up day workers into a full season slot. The other 5 fly home in June. $2,500 in sunk training and travel cost, no recovery. Of the ones who do get hired, 40% drop out before the first winter. The full season green deckhand wage runs €2,400 a month on a 47-meter Benetti, $3,200 on an 80-meter hull. You work 14-hour days, you sleep 6 hours, you eat what the chef prepares for the crew table after the principal's table is cleared. You do not drink. You do not date in season. The bosun watches. To climb, you need 6 to 12 months of logged sea service, the powerboat license at £380, and the basic engine course at £1,200. Another $2,200 on the credit card before the bosun lets you stand on the toy program. You stack the days. Level 2, the bosun. You're 23. $18,000 slid into your bank in April from a Mediterranean charter season that started on a 62-meter Heesen at Porto Cervo and ended in Bonifacio in October. Bosun on a 60-meter, $4,500 a month. Dive instructor ticket in your pocket because water sports cert-loaded bosuns command a 15 to 25% premium, and you paid €800 at a Palma dive shop to earn it. You run the toy program. Seabob jets, Yamaha wave runners, jet surf boards, the Williams Chase tender, the limousine tender that ferries the principal from the heli deck to the beach club. You write the toy log. You give the safety briefing to charter parties whose names you saw on the welcome list at 7 a.m. and forget by 10. A guest stalls a wave runner at 12,000 revolutions per minute on a cold start and seizes the engine. $16,000 in yard tickets at the Cannes Service Center. The captain logs the incident against your name on the safety log. A guest the next week breaks an ankle on a seabob, coming up at the swim platform. The bosun ran the safety briefing. The yacht's liability insurance opens a personal injury notification. The settlement, 18 months later, lands at $84,000. You don't pay it. The next captain's reference call goes cold for 1 full season. You hold a second seafarer medical because the yacht runs 2 crews certified for the same role on 24-hour watch redundancy. You renew the medical every 2 years at £115. You buy the officer of the watch prep textbooks at £400 and a seamanship workbook at £180. To climb, you need 36 months of total sea service since age 16. Including 250 days actual sea service and at least 1 year on 15-meter-plus vessels. Then the officer of the watch oral exam at £270. First-time oral pass rate, 55 to 65%. You sit the exam in Southampton in November. You pass. Level 3, the second officer. You're 27. You're standing the midnight to 4 a.m. Watch alone on the bridge of a 70-meter Sanlorenzo at anchor off Cap d'Antibes. 6,200 euros a month before tips. Bridge whites pressed in a 4x4 steel laundry locker forward. You run the electronic chart plotter. You file the passage plan. You stand to the dead man handle alarm that beeps every 12 minutes and resets when you tap the panel. You log the radar contacts, the AIS contacts, the wind speed, the swell. You write into the legal logbook in pen. You do not use whiteout. The principal landed at Nice at 11 p.m. The helicopter is inbound from the Cap Eden Rock at 7 a.m. The chief stew sets the breakfast service at 7:30. You have 4 hours of bridge solitude in which to think about the chart plotter type rating course in November that costs £350, the leadership course at £1,100, and the under 3,000-ton captain's oral exam in 19 months, for which you have 180 of the required 240 days of watchkeeping logged. The vocabulary at this rung is dense, and you use it without flinching. The garbage rule, no plastic over the side, ever. The marine radio license. The collision rules. The passage plan signed before every voyage. The setback at this rung is the dual officer trap. The yacht is laid up in Lürssen Lemberger for the winter 5-year class survey. The second officer is the first to be cut in November. You sit 6 to 14 weeks at home without pay and without continuing health coverage. $9,000 to $30,000 in lost income, recurrent for 2 or 3 years. To climb, you need the under 3,000-ton captain's modules at 14 to 18,000 pounds. Cumulative, the safety officer course at 900, the ship security course at 500, $22,000 and 3 to 4 calendar years. You stack the watchkeeping days. Level 4, the chief officer. You're 32. 8,000 euros a month on a 74-meter Feadship, custom and Caribbean season out of Antigues English Harbor. 5 to 9 direct reports, full deck department, safety officer signature on every fuel transfer the yacht performs. You sign the bunker receipt. The yacht uplifts 42,000 liters of marine diesel from a Falmouth harbor barge. A pump head fitting fails at the dock. 4,200 gallons spill over 30 minutes before the chief engineer can isolate. The slick reaches the inner harbor. The Antiguan Port Authority files an oil pollution incident. The owner-side settlement, 14 months later, comes in at $640,000. The chief officer is named on the incident chain. You aren't fired. The principal calls you into the saloon and asks one question. Whose hand was on the valve? You name the engineer. You don't add commentary. The vocabulary tightens. The safety code is the boat's safety Bible. The safety log is the boat's safety manual. The foreign port inspectors are the regime in every port you call at. You hand the owner's preference list to the new charter party every Monday. Coffee at 7 a.m., no fish on Tuesdays, no music after 11 p.m. You memorize it. You correct the chief stew when she gets it wrong. The setback at this rung is the failed captain's oral. Pass rate, 55 to 70% first attempt. You sit the oral in Glasgow in February. The examiner asks one question on salvage law that you can't quite frame. He fails you. Retake fee, £270. Re-prep course, £2,100. The promotion to captain on the next rotation goes to your relief, who passed on his first attempt. 3 to 6 months delay. You stay on chief officer pay. You watch the slot disappear. You sit the retake in June. You pass. To climb, you don't need another certificate. You need 18 to 24 months as chief officer on the discharge book and a principal or yard reference. The gate is human, not paper. Level 5, the charter captain. You're 37, 14,000 euros a month on a 57-meter Sanlorenzo SX112 running a full med charter season out of Porto Cervo, Saint-Tropez, and Capri. The yacht charters at 185,000 euros a week base, plus a 30% advance escrow for fuel and provisioning. The standard charter contract specifies a 10% gratuity convention. On a 12-week season at full charter, the tip pool clears 140,000 euros. The captain's share, 10 to 15%, lands at 15 to 20,000 euros into your account in October, plus base, plus rotation leave at 2 months on, 1 month off. You run a crew of 14. You run a monthly operating cost of $480,000 all in, including dockage at Marina Grande Capri and bunker uplifts at Naples Tankers and Peninsula Petroleum. The principal is on board 6 weeks a year. The charter party rotates every Saturday at the European visa cycle. The vocabulary climbs again. The advance escrow, the standard charter contract, the visa handover, the Cayman Islands flag flown by 70% of the over 50-meter fleet, the Seafarer Rights Code. The setback at this rung is the lost charter season. The boat goes into Via Reggio for a 5-year class survey that runs 6 weeks over schedule. The June to August med peak is gone. You stay on base salary. The tip pool collapses to zero. $20,000 to $45,000 in lost gratuity, plus crew morale fracture, plus a charter broker who calls Edmiston the next week and asks for a different boat. Or the principal sells the hull mid-contract. 60-day notice. 2 months of severance. $36,000 wired, and the cabin keys returned to the management office on the Cour Salea in Nice. 3 to 6 months in the agent market at zero pay before the next slot opens. To climb, you need the unlimited tonnage captain's license, 18 to 25,000 pounds in modular tuition, 6 to 8 more calendar years. Level 6, the master. You're 43, 20,000 euros a month on a 108-meter Feadship, running for a first-generation tech principal with a single yacht ownership pattern. At $1,200 per foot of yacht length, the published industry benchmark, you clear $240,000 a year before bonus. The vocabulary at this rung is operational and absolute. GPS station keeping locked to satellite. MTU diesels, the standard 100-meter engine plant. Zero-speed stabilizers. The shadow yacht trailing 2 miles aft, carrying the helicopter, the submersible, the dive locker. The placement agents at Imperial Yachts, Burgess, Y.co. The Monaco Yacht Show in September, where principals walk the docks in dinner jackets, and the captain's table dinner is the network audition. You sit an unlimited tonnage captain's license that took 6 to 8 calendar years and 20 to 25,000 pounds of modular tuition while you were still drawing officer pay. Chart plotter type rating refresh every 2 years, 3,000 pounds. Safety course refresher every 5 years, 600 pounds. Seafarer medical every 2 years, 115. You spend $8,000 to $15,000 a year out of pocket on dinner jackets, principal event wardrobe, and shoreside hosting expenses that nobody reimburses. The principal expects a captain who can sit at the owner's table at Cipriani Monte Carlo and not flinch at the wine list. The setback at this rung is the geopolitical seizure. March 2022. Italian Customs sees sailing yacht A, 143 meters, Nobid Skrug 2017, build cost $600 million. The Italian taxpayer covers the 20 to 30 million euros a year maintenance bill. 8 to 15 unlimited tonnage captains lose their commands in a single quarter. The principal network references go silent. You file a placement at Edmiston in April. They have nothing for you, or the failed refit acceptance. Lürssen Lemverder. Sea trials reveal a vibration on the starboard shaft alignment. You refuse delivery. The principal arrives in Bremen personally and walks the engine room. If you are wrong, you are fired. If the yard is wrong, you are made. Level 7, the principal's captain. You're 47. There is no certificate gate above you. There is only the principal network access that someone earned for you by introduction or by long succession on a known fleet. Azzam, 180 meters. Lürssen, 2013, $600 million to build. Captain Martin Sheehy, publicly identified at launch. Eclipse, 162 meters. Blom und Voss, 2010. Roman Abramovich. Valuation history from 700 million to 1.5 billion. Dilbar, 156 meters. Lürssen, 2016. Alisher Usmanov, 84 full-time crew. U.S. Treasury valuation at seizure, 600 to 735 million. Fulk Al Salamah, 164 meters. Mariotti, 2016. Sultan Haitham bin Tariq of Oman. Shadow vessel to the 155-meter Lürssen Al Said. The salary brackets at this rung are not published. The placement agents cap their public report at over €25,000 a month for 100 to 119-meter vessels, 324 to 465,000 a year base. Industry sources put the absolute apex at 420 to 720,000 a year all in. The pre-2022 fleet rotation captains running multi-yacht stables on the Abramovich pattern cleared 500 to 900,000 a year, including discretionary principal bonus and stable coordination supplement. Boat International and Dockwalk declined to publish on this tier. The setback at this rung is geopolitical and largely non-recoverable. March 2022. Eclipse and Solaris are parked in Turkey at a combined valuation of $1.2 billion. Dilbar is held in Hamburg. Sailing Yacht A is seized in Trieste. Within 90 days, 8 to 15 unlimited tonnage captains lose their commands. Within 18 months, the sovereign yacht placement market contracts an estimated 15 to 20%. The cost of the job at level 7 is not financial. The principal pays for everything. The cost is structural. 9 months a year working, 2 to 1 rotation, family lives wherever the boat winters. Industry placement agent commentary puts divorce rates above 50%. There is no level 8. The captain retires onto a yard consultancy at 280 to 450,000 a year, or a yacht management firm partnership, or a surveyor niche. Income for time. The gate to nothing. You're 47 and standing the morning watch on the bridge of a 106-meter Lürssen at anchor off Cap d'Antibes. The principal is asleep in the master cabin. The relief captain is asleep in his rotation cabin. The chief stew has set the breakfast service for 7:30. 28 years from the duffel on the dock at Port Vauban. You look down at the marina at 5:30 in the morning. The day workers are walking the quay with their CVs, 20 kids. 6 will get hired. The rest will fly home in June. The boat doesn't belong to you. The principal doesn't belong to you. Only the time on the bridge does. You write the watch entry in pen. You set the kettle. The cap is on the chair behind you, dry, waiting. The sun comes up over Cap d'Antibes. The day workers on the quay below look up. They can't see you.